everyone, welcome back to Golden Papery, and we are week 5 of March 2026, and I am going to get started with our plan with me. This is just my weekly reset that I like to do, and let me tell you, this has been such a long month. I know that January felt long, or probably longer for many people, but March was definitely a long month for me and my family. And so I'm just happy that we are getting a new fresh start with April. So I have here my A5 planner that the binder is from Christina Loves Planning, and then the A5 planner templates are from Planner Room, and all of that is in my description if you'd like to check out those Etsy sellers or the different brands that I like to use. But I have been very comfortable with utilizing this planning template. It's been working for me, and I have not switched out of it from the beginning of the month. So we're still using the same planner template. And I will say that even though there have been some weeks that I have not planned, it is something that I truly love about the A5 planner, because you can just, plan as you go on a weekly basis. I used to do the daily planning templates, and I just found that that does not work for me, considering how busy my family is with my son's medical appointments, or just having two kids in general. And sometimes people get sick, like what happened this month, right? We had such high pollen here where we live, and because we also started gardening, it was one of those things where we just all got sick at the same time, including my husband. So we were just trying to lean on each other while tackling, our clinical trial visits, which, by the way, we are officially 1 year down with my son's clinical trial. So I know I stepped away this last couple of weeks, but we finalized his MRI, his x-rays, and he is officially on the medication that will support his dwarfism condition. And that is just super exciting for us as a family. We are happy that, we've gotten the 1 year down, but now we got this next year to go. And unfortunately for us, that means that when you start the beginning of the year, there are 3 back-to-back visits in Houston. So we're gonna have to be going to Houston once a month for the next 3 months. I don't know how I feel about that yet, considering that we had lowered it down to every 3 months on a quarterly basis, and now we're back to once a month. So yep, that is just what is going on with our life. And if we didn't want to add more, stress on our plate, we got chickens, we're doing the gardening, we still have our pig. And so there are a lot of homesteading projects that we have planned, and that does not make it to this planner because this tends to be more of my work planning. But I feel like not that many projects at work right now. I do have a couple of things that I need to finish, but most of the projects that I have on my plate are trying to get some of these major updates for some of our HR data. And it's also the beginning of the month, so I have some snapshotting to do for some data. But I am truly blessed that it has been a very flexible time at work. It's been quiet, nothing too crazy. The major project that we ended up having since December didn't technically close. They pushed their go live until April 13. And so I just, shifted it to the back of the line, and I'm working on the rest of the projects that I have as priority. But on this A5 planner, what I like to do is use my zigzag dot highlighters, and I use that to jot down which meetings I have for the week. And then I will usually do like a mild liner highlighting at the very top for anything that I want to stamp out for that day. So for example, on Tuesday, my son has an OT appointment, and so that means that I'm going to just highlight that and just keep it in mind. Usually for things like that, I don't have to be there. They go directly to his daycare, but sometimes his therapist will call me up and just give me some updates or things to work on. And I like to be available during those appointments in case if anything comes up. For Wednesday, I do have to snapshot some data, and so that means that for me, I have to pull the information, get it into our data warehouse, and then refresh all of the reportings that we have for that data source. But yeah, like I said, this week is going to be a little interesting. I'm also going to use this wonton in a million planner stickers, and I just, I found these the other day and I'm like, you know what, let me just use a template for the week and see what stickers we get. I like these especially because the planning sticker sheets tend to be a lot of stickers, and so you can use them for probably 2 to 3 weeks, and it just really depends on how many things you have going on. For this week, as I mentioned, not too many things happening, but I do have a lot of little tasks that I have to get done by Friday. I unfortunately do not have Good Friday off. I don't know why. It is just the weirdest thing ever that we get like some of these corporate holidays. We just don't get them off. My husband will have the day off, so will my daughter and son. So that means that I'm going to work remotely. We are going to head down to Kilgore for 2 baby showers, which is crazy because it just happened to be the same weekend, and I'm happy that we can just knock them out in the same Saturday and that's it. But we will be spending Easter weekend with our family in Kilgore. And then for these wonton in a million stickers, I'm just kind of placing them all over the place that I think I need them. I totally forgot that I took them out for the beginning of this planning session, and I could have used them for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but that's okay. We will use them for the rest of the week. And I just think they're so cute. They have like the dumpling, they have all these different little dim sum, like, it's just, they're cute. They're cute stickers. And I have so many of them. For a hot minute, I had like a little stationery shop going on, like a physical one. And I ordered a lot of wonton in a million stickers. And it was just one of those things that I like to carry because people just really like them. And now I just have all of these left over, and I feel like as much as I try to give a whole bunch of these stickers away, I still have a whole bunch of them here. So that is okay. And yeah, that is this going on. But I also want to just take some time to just appreciate you all. I've been dealing with these past 2 weeks. I have never in my life gotten as sick as I have with allergies. And, I know that my whole family was sick, but I literally could not talk. My throat was so sore. I mean, it was just rough couple of days. Needless to say, spring break was not super fun for me, but I was still working and taking care of these kiddos at home. And so that was just a little rough, but drinking lots of tea, making sure we get hydrated. And I'm finally this week feeling better. The kids are back at school. I can get some work done, and it just feels like the world is finally just coming back to normal and going back to the same pace that we had. And then as you can see on my screen, I got the cutest plant at Tractor Supply. We went over this past weekend to go get some gardening supplies, and this is Kernel. That's the name that it had on the tag, and I just thought it was the cutest thing ever. So say hi to Kernel. And That is basically what we have going on for the week. So my boss also went out of the country for the whole month. So that means that we're going to be having check-ins with our CTO, which will be nice because we get to, get a feel for his direction on the team, and that'll be a little bit new. But also this week, I am definitely getting back into the groove of working out, making sure I also get in all of those electrolytes. I took a really big back step these past 2 weeks because I had been sick, but I feel good today being a Monday, and it's just a good little reset that I can just, get as we move into April. But for things that I need to get absolutely completed, I need to purchase some gifts for the baby showers, so I gotta get that done. We have Easter baskets and pre-filled eggs that I need to get for my kiddos, and that needs to be done by Wednesday. And like I said, this A5 planner, especially this weekly tracking, it is very much a work planner. And even though I have these different sections about home and health and goals and things like that, it really is oriented to just work. And I will put a couple of things for life. As I mentioned to you all, I have a whole type of command center when it comes to my home planning. I use a lot of my Google apps now that I have a Google Pixel. I use Google Calendar, my Gmail to, email the coordinators for the clinical research, or, just get things done for insurances. And so I just use a different planning system, and I will be showing you guys what I built with Notion because I was trying to figure out a way, how can I get this just in one spot? And so that's what I'm going to show you, which is honestly not anything big, not anything, um, difficult either. I really was trying to aim for a simple mom command center because this A5 planner stays on my desk. And so this is what I have on my desk. I also have a desk pad where I kind of just jot down, random notes throughout the day or throughout the week. And so this is where I keep all of the tasks that I need to get done. Aside from, my Jira board that we use, which obviously I cannot show you all that because of the data privacy, but this work planner gives you kind of a gist of what I have going on for the week. And yeah, it tends to be pretty busy. We get tickets in on the BI team. We get different projects and emails, questions about different projects. And so now that our boss is out of the country and out on vacation, I know that a lot of that is going to come to our plate because we tend to not be as involved with those things because we're not the director. But now, since he's out of town, I know that we're probably gonna, get lots of meetings on our calendar that we probably didn't have before. So, just to give you guys a quick recap on that, this is really just my work planner. And so I appreciate you all getting some inspiration on here, but I also feel like it doesn't give you the full kind of scenario of what being a full-time working mom is. And so I hope that, and I say I hope because there's so many ideas that I have that I would like to share with you all. But unfortunately, my life is just so hectic right now with all of these different appointments that I try to do these things when I get some free time. But that's neither here nor there. And so I appreciate you guys just sticking around and watching this. But I love it. Planning is so peaceful for me. This week that I have I have an HR data that's being updated, and it's so refreshing to know that, I get to have these different projects and concentrate on completing these projects. And so I don't know, y'all, it is definitely one of those like, it's just been a long year. and we're barely going to be in April. Like, it's only been 3 months and it feels like it's been 6 months. But yeah, so what are some of the tools that you guys are using? I feel like for stickers, I have not purchased any. I know I mentioned this a lot in several videos, but I have not purchased any stickers in about 2 years. And so I've kind of just been using the ones that I have, trying to get rid of as much as I can, which is why you always see my, my pages just so filled with stickers, and it's typically not it's minimalistic, but with stickers. But I know that there have been other brands that have just been coming out with such cute stickers, and I want to just go and spend all of my money on that, but I don't, because then I'm gonna have even more stickers. What I will say though is I have been looking into different planning templates for my personal planner. So I haven't shown my cash binder in a while. That's just because I have not gone to the bank. And with us being sick and everything, it's been crazy. But I am also looking for a planner template that I can keep on my cash binder. I gave you guys just a sample that I'm using with the Plan with B. I believe that's the planning template. If not, it's also Planner Room. But I really feel like the personal binder needs to be rearranged. And the funny thing is that binder, I got it custom packaged by Christina Loves Planning. It was pretty expensive. She organized the entire binder itself, and it's so beautiful. You guys can see that on my cash binder walkthrough, but it is such a beautiful binder. But I also feel like the planning template that I had in there was not as good, or good quality as other ones. And that's nothing wrong with the Christina Loves Planning brand. It's just me organizing my tasks in a certain way. So, more to that coming soon also, because I probably will be ordering something instead of actually trying to print that out myself. And then here I am just updating my appointments. So we are done with March, and now I'm going to add in the April appointments, which I don't know why I was writing January here, but I do go back and fix this to April. And I think that's just because I got confused with the April the 1st. But with the appointments, Dorian does have some new. He's got to go meet with an ortho. We got to go do a sleep study in May. And so it's going to be a little bit interesting how that fits with the rest of the appointments. Obviously, therapy that happens at daycare, but my our PT did let us know that she broke her foot, so we are trying to figure out we should do like a Zoom call or something. And I just, it is gonna definitely throw a wrench into my schedule, but PT does have to get done, so that is priority. And then I'm not going to update any of the other planning templates in this binder. That is just because I'm trying to save time here so that I can record the mom command center that I'm doing with my Notion planner. And that will be supplemental to this. So this is work planning, and then I have like my home kind of catch-all brainstorm planning. And yeah, I am excited to show you guys what I built over on Notion. It's not anything fancy, but it is, what works for me. And yeah, and then I have a couple of appointments just missing here for April, but I gotta go message our OT so that she can send those dates over. But other than that, everything is done here for the week of March. week 5, and so I am going to keep this on my desk, and then yeah, we will come back to you guys next week for my Plan With Me series. We'll see you then. Bye.